Hello, everyone, and welcome to another discussion of Axis and Allies. Today, we'll be talking about Britain and some options on their first turn and purchases for the first turn only. So first off, I'm going to go with my favorite purchase, which is a battleship and 2 men. I love getting the battleships going. That gives you that opening fire hits later in the game to whittle down the Germans. It also gives you free hits when the Germans attack you, and helps you to really solidify your navy in the long run. So, another option though, if you're not as big a fan of battleships, another option is to get the carriers going. You already have 2 planes. You can get a carrier, 3 men in a tank. Get a little more land units up front. It allows you to get a little more land up front. Still solidify that navy a bit. And then maybe build some more boats down the stretch. However, there's a chance that Germany is gunning for you. If they're building a bunch of transports on turn 1, you can't fool around with boats. You need 6 men in a plane. That's pretty much your best defense. You can later use the plane to help build up your navy. And really you got to not get conquered. And so you got to think big picture. And then lastly, maybe you're going for Japan first. In that case, you build your complex in India. And from there, in Britain, maybe some combination of men, maybe a destroyer and a man. Kind of depends what Germany's doing, depending on how you're feeling. Maybe something else. But just think of then some other guys over there. Understand that your focus is going to be on Japan for a lot of the game. So you'll very slowly build up. But in most cases, you will not build the complex. You'll be building guys over here. And you want to get that navy build up and start to attack. So the question then is where to attack. So understanding first off, a lot does depend on what Germany does. This boat almost always dies. This boat might die. And so, one of your biggest choices over here is, if Egypt holds, I would strongly recommend fortifying it. You can also take your navy here, solidify it. You can decide whether it solidifies in India or the Mediterranean, depending on what you and the Allies want to do. But you have a lot of options. That being said, if Egypt falls, then you're definitely not attacking anywhere in this area. You're going to play defense. And you're going to figure that out. So for attacks, your big questions at some level will be, do you want to come down here? This boat, he went somewhere. He probably attacked him. Do you want to come down here and attack Africa or not? You could also maybe attack Norway. Although I will caution you, I am not a fan of Norway attack on turn 1. Understanding that the counterattack from Germany, depending on where their planes are, is probably just too strong. Your navy's not big enough. It's too big of a risk. I would generally not recommend it. That's a great turn 2 option, maybe turn 3. If you're really worried, but turn 2 especially. But turn 1, I would shy away from that. However, if the Germans have not built up their navy, one thing I would strongly consider is taking your 2 fighters and your bomber and attacking right off the bat. Because, notice here, they only have 2 boats that can hit air. 1 destroyer, and the transport hits on a 1, destroyer on a 3. You have 2 3s and a 4, you'll probably lose a fighter. You might even lose 2, but it's pretty easy to wipe that navy out if they don't build any defenses. That's something to consider. Granted, you will probably lose a plane. But then that kind of alleviates a lot of problems here in the North Atlantic in the long run. So lastly, let's talk a little more about non-combat moves. So depending on what happens here, you may want to shift guys to India, shift guys to Egypt, or just kind of consolidate what's left in the Middle East. One of your biggest questions here is your boats. So assuming you're not abandoning the area, because one last attack option would be to take your destroyer, kill that, understanding then you're just running away. If you're not planning on running away, really this matters a lot. If you get these 2, park on India. If they attack you, great. You're going to kill a whole bunch of Japanese merchandise. But short of that, this fleet versus the Japanese is pretty vulnerable. This here, obviously, is farther away. So your main options are going to be, option 1, consolidate and go forward. The big risk is they can still hit you and quite possibly kill everything. They'll take some damage, but they'll be out of position. Option 2, you're going to kind of retreat a bit. Come back this way. They can still hit with this fleet, but none of the other planes can come. And so that gives you a much more of a fighting chance. These guys potentially come over here, link with the Americans, see what they're doing, see where they are, kind of play off of that. But a lot of it will be kind of what you in America want to do long term. Do you want to be really aggressive? Or do you want to kind of play back more? So if you want to be aggressive, put everyone down here. Or if these guys are here, just park your navy there. If not, play a little more cat and mouse and see what happens. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have fun playing Axis and Allies.